Push Puppy Addict, Loose Side Edition.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break.
Now, while I've still got some battery, I'm gonna make a vlog. Let me tell you what, I think that in America, our motorcycle endorsement for you to actually get your motorcycle license where you can ride any bike you want is way too easy. It shouldn't be that easy to climb on a machine that you can easily kill yourself and someone else with. Car's a little different, you're a little more protected. Yes, you run the same risk of killing somebody with that car. But for motorcycles, I've lived in countries that have catered to bikers, be it bicycles, scooters, motorcycles. The process of getting endorsed for said motorcycle or scooter is a little more arduous than in America. It takes a little longer, it's harder, you go through a lot more classroom time. Their laws are a little different, so it's a little more in-depth because of the laws, because you are allowed to filter and lane split. But I want everyone to tell me your thoughts on it. Do you think I'm just being an ass? I don't think that someone that's never ridden a motorcycle before can borrow their friend's Ninja 250 and go take a test on it and get fully endorsed with it, and then go out and buy a Yamaha R1, never ridden a super sport, ever. I mean, to me that's a little dangerous, just because I know what that bike's capable of. And the guy's getting the test that's doing it like that is just thinking thinking they can handle it because they see people on TV doing it or on videos. I just think it's dangerous. I think a lot more should be in. We should have provisional tags for a learning period, probably for, I would guess, a year. I would say that a biker should have provisional tags. Man, it's windy. Just to get used to what he's riding, man. Let him really know what he's on. Like my bike, I just rode Llama Goose's bike. I could go full throttle on that thing in first, second, third gear and was fine with it. If you attempt to go full throttle on this thing and you're in second gear, it is coming up on you. And if you're not prepared to do a wheelie, or you've never had the front wheel come off the ground before, it is a little scary. I mean, it would cause someone to tense up, and tensing up on a bike like this, here, you tense up, and that's what happens. See, you already started your oscillation on your speed wobble. I hold this bike very loose. I let it do what it's going to do, and just try to persuade it in the direction I want to go. I mean, that's about what you're doing with a big bike that's got even a 600 Super Sport that's got that much horsepower. I mean, most of those 600 Super Sports, you're averaging around somewhere between 100 to 115 horsepower on a 600 Super Sport. I know they'll say 140. It's not. They're about 100 to 120, depending on types, what you've done to it, stuff like that. Even that bike, you go full throttle on that, you can get a power lift out of second gear. I've done it on a CBR 600RR. I shifted into second and hammered it down, and the front end come up on me. If you're not prepared for a bike to do that, you can crash it, especially if you don't know how to bring a bike down. It is a hard hit. Most bikes come down after being in a wheelie relatively hard. I mean, you're slamming a couple 100 pounds down into the ground. And if you're not prepared for that, you could lose the front end out from under you. So I think there should be more of a learning curve for motorcyclists inside the United States. Some people may think against that, but I think it's a good thing. In Japan, when I first tested, I tested on what's called an RGV 250. When I got done with the advanced motorcycle course and got fully endorsed, my driver's license, my Japanese motorcycle license said up to 250 cc's. So I could only ride bikes that were 250 cc's or less. When I got its big brother, the RGV 500, I had to go retest on the 500 to get that license. And then a friend of mine got this was in 1989, so it was new then, the new 1340 Evo Harley. With their 1340 Evo motor in it. That was new at the time, back in '89. And so I grabbed his bike and went down to the testing center and tested on his bike. So then my license said 1340 cc or lower, and then I could ride anything. Because when I had my 500 cc license, I would ride my friend's 750. He had a GSXR 750, and I would ride it. And I was illegal when I was doing it, even though my 500 had much more ass and was faster. I was actually riding it illegally. Now you will run into that, like somebody on a, let's see, I would say an FJ 1300. An FJR 1300 touring Yamaha compared to the FZ09, even though that 1300 is a much bigger, 400 cc's more, that FZ09 reacts quicker. It's quicker off the line. It's actually a faster motorcycle. So I can see where some of the arguments are going to come from, where the smaller bikes, there's some smaller bikes out there that have more horsepower and more torque than the bigger bikes. I understand that, and that's all fine and dandy. But to separate the idiots from the people that actually appreciate and respect the bike that they're on, and I may get some arguments there, but yeah, I've seen a lot of guys on a Hayabusa or a ZX14 or even a GSXR 1000 that do not respect what that bike is capable of. I call them straight liners. They'll take it balls to the wall in a straight line. They get to a corner and go around at 20 miles an hour because they're scared to death of it. That's going to cause an accident. So I think if you're going to ride that bike, then you should test on it and get used to the weight of it. Be able to take it to full lock without putting your feet down and tooling around the parking lot. It says a lot when you can control a bike like that. I think we need a lot stricter endorsement laws around in the United States. I think it would save some kids' lives that want an R6 and never ridden a motorcycle before in their life, and they go test on their buddy's Ninja 250 and go buy them an R6 and end up killing themselves on it. I think what I am proposing would stop some of that. Stop a lot of it, matter of fact. So, tell me what you think.